What's up, you guys? My name is Brandon Cook, if you didn't know. Now, if you're wondering where I've been on a 40-day detox from social media. Basically, that includes Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, the main social media platforms that you would use to interact with people online. The main thing that I did give myself, I gave myself 1 hour of YouTube a day. But during this 40-day period, I just want to share with you some things of how that affected me over these past 40 days, and I think you guys could benefit from it as well. So, first, if any of you guys are like me on social media is everything. You wake up in the morning, you check your phone, you go to the bathroom, you check your phone, if you're like me, I checked my screen time. When I first started doing this, the screen time was 9 hours, okay, that I was looking at my phone. Now it's down to 2 hours. So day one for me, the hardest part was exiting a text and not going to social media. I'm so used to texting, then I go directly to Instagram, directly to Facebook, and I find myself aimlessly scrolling for hours without anything to do. And so the weirdest part was, like, when you don't have those apps to look at, you have to just not look at your phone. So for example, if you're texting someone and they're not instantly responding, you don't go to apps to fill your time. You put your phone away. Now, it sounds really silly, but during this time period, I started realizing that I felt like I had a social media addiction. The following day, I woke up with an urge to look on Instagram, realizing there is no Instagram, because my routine has been you wake up, you aimlessly scroll, and for the next app, and the next app, and the next app, post something motivational. But I couldn't post a story. It's almost as if I started realizing my socialization was primarily through social media and very rarely in person, which also started making me have anxiety, real anxiety, like panic attack, chest, head, mind, overthinking everything in my existence and my purpose in life. Now, if you know anything about me, I've made YouTube videos. I was very active on social media, and so to not do something that you normally do all the time, to take a complete detox away, can have a very strong impact on you. Also, during this time period, I started reflecting and thinking about the people that are actually in my life, in real life. I can have 800 likes on a photo, but guess what I realized? I only talk to like 5 people in real life, maybe 10 on a good day. And then I started realizing and getting value and being more appreciative of the people that are actually in my day-to-day life. And now that doesn't mean that I'm not appreciative of the people in social media, but it also makes you take account to think about, if social media were to shut down right now, who would really be in your life and who really matters. The instant gratification was addictive. Getting likes consistently, knowing that people care about you that may or may not be in your real life, it's a good feeling. On the bright side though, I felt more engaged as a father. I was more in tune, which I try to make sure that when I do have my daughter, I don't really get on my phone, but I was more in the present. I was more mindful. Me and my daughter had better quality time without this addiction to social media, almost as if it's a distraction from the quality times that you should be spending with your loved ones. My grandma even said at one point when I had my phone and social media, she said, "Is there any other time that you don't look at your phone?" And I started realizing that maybe I look at my phone a little too much. Now, towards the end of the week, I started getting used to not being on social media, but one thing that was missing was that sense of human connection, that human interaction that I didn't have, which I was, I guess, filling that void with social media. Towards the beginning of the second week, I started not thinking about Instagram or Facebook that much, just living my life trying to get used to it. I found myself going to the gym more, just doing things to fill the void, fill the time that I would guess just be aimlessly scrolling on social media. Life is kind of weird. Like, I'm not really keeping track of the days. I guess time is just going by, and it's like, oh, you just get up, you get in your routine, you're kind of feeling out of the loop. And I started realizing I was getting that FOMO, that fear of missing out. I also realized that I don't feel as distracted about things. I noticed that the more I use my phone, the more I felt that urge to keep looking at my phone, keep going back and looking at it. And I didn't have that. No, by that time, I also saw Casey Neistat within my hour a day of YouTube that I allowed myself, which I didn't even take that full hour, but I started watching Casey Neistat's video when he realized that he was also felt as if he was addicted to social media. And I was like, just thinking, wow, I'm on this 40-day journey and he's realizing this as well. I wonder, will this video make as much impact? Because it's almost like a social experiment for myself that I'm putting myself through. Because we've conditioned ourselves to be so involved in other people's lives and so involved to showcasing our lives that not doing that, and that fear of missing out and everything involved with that can take a toll on your mind just about. started also realizing that I incorporate social media in my day-to-day conversations, and how ingrained in my brain it's been. So I saw somebody with a cool outfit, I'm like, yo, that'd be a dope pic for Instagram. Or, oh my gosh, I can see that as a meme. It's almost as if the world of the internet has become almost as if how we think now. You also realize you have, there's no way to really contact people you don't have their contact information. So for example, I saw Zion Williamson and he was doing great in the game. And so I just wanted to be, yo, congrats Zion. But I don't have his number, couldn't use Twitter, couldn't use Facebook, couldn't do anything to contact them. So it's almost like this disconnect from access to people, even if you don't really have that access, but it's almost as if you're missing out from that. I had an interest, I wanted to buy an Xbox, well guess what? I want to go to Facebook Market, but there's no Facebook, so I can't access the market. Then I looked on Craigslist, and I felt a little sketchy about that. Someone said, hey, Brandon, I like your tattoos. They look dope. Yo, I was like, what's your tattoo artist's contact info? I'm like, oh, the Instagram is this. And then he was like, oh, it's not coming up. But then I couldn't look on the Instagram because I had to pretend as if there is no Instagram, and I didn't have his number, so it was kind of like I don't know what to do at this point. My grandmother went to the hospital. Normally I would share that type of information, you know, requests for prayer requests, oh my gosh, my grandma, this happened, like just sharing instant information with the world, letting people know where I am and what I'm doing for whatever reason because of that interaction. But all I could do was really pray, and I couldn't reach out to anyone except for people that were in my contact list. And that was very interesting, realizing how much I depend on this social community for things that actually happen in real life as well. I also noticed that when you stop using social media, you just fill the void on your phone with other things, whether that's talking on the phone for hours, texting for hours, or just doing things. And some things are productive, and some things are just not as productive. But one thing that I found really interesting was when I went to an event, people didn't ask me what my phone number was. People asked me, hey, what's your Instagram? Almost as if they didn't want that interpersonal connection to know who you genuinely are as a person, but more so of what is the perception of who you are on the social media platform. Let me get to know more about you without really getting to knowing anything about you first. Once they saw my social media page, their perception changed. Oh wow, are you a model? Oh wow, you have like, at the time, when they put it up, 8,000 followers, 8,000 or so followers. Then I looked upon it myself and I saw that it's like 7,000 and something. That hurt my pride a little bit because, you know, numbers mean something in the social media realm. And then I had to like swallow my pride and be like, yeah, that's me. But it was interesting knowing that the society we live in, they don't necessarily care about, seems as if they don't necessarily care about you, but the perception of what you put out to the world of who you are. Also, another thing I noticed is that we use social media for validation of people. For example, I got a haircut. Typically when I get a haircut, I might post an Instagram story, might post something on a picture because I feel like I'm looking good, right? But when I got a haircut, I was like, there's no one to send it to or anything, or there's no one to post it, there's no one to flex, there's no one to give me this validation, which I found really interesting. The purpose of social media is that it can be used as a tool to connect and interact with other people, which is as it should be. For example, I was in a bowling tournament, and I was told to recruit people to play, but the people in my social contacts couldn't make it. I could have used social media to recruit people, but I didn't have social media, so I couldn't recruit other people. So I found that very interesting. I found it really interesting when someone told me, hey Brandon, I miss you on social media. They didn't say they miss you in real life. They just miss your presence online. So to me, I'm thinking you can contact me if you want to be involved in my real life, but again, it's social media world, not the real world. I saw this guy, he was out there taking photos. I was like, yo man, you got a business card? He said, no, but my Instagram is. And I was like, whoa, I don't have it. So my only way of getting in contact with this person was social media. It's almost as if our entire world is being transitioned to use social media through dating, through relationships, through social interactions, through day-to-day life, through instant gratification, validation, social status. Everything is being used through social media, and it's blowing my mind. I saw this documentary, it was called Social Animals, and it gave you the perspective of 3 different individuals and how it's affecting their lives, and that is such a true thing, and I think everybody watching this should definitely check out Social Animals. I've had social media for over half of my life. I'm 27 years old. I got MySpace back in 2003, okay? It's 2019 right now. That's 16 years, that's a long time to be in the social media world, and almost as if that's all we know. The reason I'm making this video is to show you guys that I documented my time, and I've realized that everything is good in doses, and just to be careful how much you get involved with social media and how much of it that you make of your life, because it can consume you and you can have the negative effects. By not being on social media, I found myself having depression and anxiety. I went to the hospital. I want to give a special shout out to Amber, who took me to the hospital when I was feeling like I didn't even want to live anymore, which is a very scary admittance to say. But I just want to make that public service announcement known, is that while things can be used for good, things can also be used for bad, and just be careful. Things are good in doses. Candy is good, but if you eat too much, you could get diabetes. Fast food is good, but if you eat too much, it might give you stomach problems. Social media is good, but it needs to be used in doses and not overly used, because some people that don't know how to handle their anxiety and depression could do things that is not good for them. If you ever experience any type of anxiety or depression, if you feel like you need to take a break, because I feel like in the future there will be many people that take a break from social media. So I wanted to let you guys on the inside scoop to know what it could be like if you were that involved in it like I am and I was. So reach out to help. Reach out for help if you feel the need. If you start feeling anxiety or depression, do not be scared to reach out for help. I will list links below of contacts if you feel any type of depression or anxiety or anything where you can get help if needed. But again, there's pros and cons. So the positives are you get to reach out, you get to meet different people. There's so many good friends and things that I've never even met in real life, but I had through social media. But also, if you let that take over your life, it could be very negative. You could have negative experiences. So just be careful. Social media is powerful. Your mind is even more powerful. So just be careful about the routines you make in your daily life. Thank you guys for watching this video. See you later. Be careful. Yeah. Peace.